Hello there. Welcome to Cultivating a Culture of Curiosity with me, Allie Osgood. And this summer, I'm in Fargo, North Dakota, doing discipline-based educational research. I've been looking at student-generated questions from a biology class for non-biology majors. I was very surprised to see that many students did not ask any questions at the beginning of the course. In the pretest, when students were asked what questions they had about biology, about 20% of students said, none, or I don't have any questions. Asking questions is a way to express curiosity, and this lack of questions left me with many questions. Why do questions go unasked? I will be joined by a special guest to get to the bottom of this. I'm Allie Osgood.
I'm Ollie Osbad.
Let's talk about questions.
Asking questions makes me mad.
After this chat about curiosity, you will be glad.
Let's get on with the show.
Yes, let's go. So, Ollie Osbad, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I dream of becoming a star. I love marketing and hope to someday have my face be a logo for a cereal company. In the meantime, I am a student, and on the side I breed hedgehogs. And asking questions is the worst. Why did you want to interview me?
Well, I wanted to get to the bottom of your hatred for asking questions.
Well, in my classes I don't ask questions, because I don't want people to think I'm dumb, especially the teacher. Curiosity killed the cat for a reason.
That reminds me of a paper I read recently. In 2012, Pedrosa de Jesus and colleagues described two zones of teaching and learning. These researchers gathered data from professors with different approaches to teaching. They found that the more student-focused teacher conceptualized questions as an opportunity for joint understanding, whereas the more teacher-focused teachers quickly returned the focus to the teacher. This article helped me think about the ways teachers react to student questions, and often being unsure of how a professor will respond can discourage students from asking their questions.
That makes sense. Maybe I would ask more questions if I had a teacher who really wanted to hear my questions and was willing to admit that they didn't know all the things. I probably still wouldn't ask that many questions in a biology course, though. Biology doesn't relate to my life in any way.
It's interesting that you say that, Ollie. There were several student responses in the data I've been looking at that expressed similar sentiments. Students wanted to know how biology would relate to their lives. In a 2002 paper by Wallace and colleagues, Ausubel's theory of meaningful learning is explained. Essentially, when learners relate new information to their prior knowledge, they are able to increase their conceptual knowledge basis. In my mind, science is all about figuring out those connections between concepts and seeing how different elements of the natural world interact.
That's interesting and all, but I need to be able to have a real and practical application of the things I learn. How does biology relate to my life?
Science may play more of a role in your life than you know. In research done by Kottner and colleagues in 2017, they say, quote, "We know that all of our students are members of a society that votes, makes personal health choices, and purchases goods and services. In all of these activities, scientific knowledge, the ability to evaluate claims scientifically, and trust in the scientific process can be beneficial to the individual and his or her community."
Okay, I guess I can see how that connects. But science is just so hard. I'm not good at it. There's just so much to memorize.
Well, there's a lot more to science than memorizing. Wallace and colleagues mentioned two different views of science. A positivist view, which means the student sees science as a body of knowledge, and these students tend to learn through memorizing or practicing problems. Constructivists, on the other hand, view science as a creative endeavor that changes over time. These researchers interviewed several students before and after taking a biology course for non-majors. Students with constructivist views about learning seemed to gain more conceptual understanding. Those who see learning as a creative process seem to ask more questions, connect material to their lives, and discuss materials with their peers. Are constructivists more curious? Is this a mindset thing? How can we change the ollies of the world?
Excuse me, I'm right here. There is nothing wrong with me.
That is true. You do have many wonderful qualities. And many of your qualities merge well with science. You are creative. You are skeptical.
Well, it doesn't seem like that is what makes a good scientist. If you get too creative or curious on a test, you won't do well. It is hard to think creatively and ask questions when I know my grade will be based on multiple choice tests. Sometimes it seems like following directions and not asking questions is the best way to succeed in school.
I understand that, and so do several researchers. In a paper by Donham and colleagues in 2009, the researchers discussed how, quote, institutional schooling can undermine curiosity and academic risk-taking for many students who learn to simply go through the motions and do what they are told so that they might achieve success, end quote. The researchers emphasized that if students are to truly become lifelong learners, which seems to be the goal across many grade levels and across many institutions, then authentic inquiry, the process of asking questions that genuinely interest you, is a driving force for lifelong learning to take place. That interest, paired with the knowledge and tools to find answers for yourself, will serve you well for the rest of your life. Asking questions and being curious plays such an important role in the process of being a lifelong learner.
Well, tickle my feet with alfalfa. Asking questions doesn't make someone dumb. It just gives them the opportunity to learn more, thus making them smarter.
It makes me so happy to hear you say that. Thank you, Ollie, for chatting with me. Until next time, stay curious, my friends. Go out there and be the lifelong learner that I know you can be. Disclaimer. Ollie Osbad is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to real life is purely coincidental. Ali Osgood, however, is a real person and is grateful that you listened. Thank you.